Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you guys are doing well as always, and I'm back with another video, and this time is gonna be a deck guide video for Dauntless Drive Dragon plus Dote. And for those people that do not know what Dote is, it stands for Dragonic Overlord The End. And unfortunately, this will be the last deck guide for set 11 just because I didn't pull any Aqua Force card, and that's why I can't really make a Reaper deck guide even if I want to. And for those people that have been wondering, is there any improvement for Dote? How have the list changed from previous meta to now? So to me, there's not really much changes. The only difference is you add 4 copies of Dauntless Drive Dragon, obviously, and some new Seal Dragon cards. And I guess that's enough talking, so let's take a look at the deck list. Okay, so here's the list. As you can see, the starter we are going to be running is Conroe, obviously, just because if you're playing a Kagero deck, most of the time your starter is going to be Conroe. So I don't really need to explain this. So let's take a look at our grade 3. So for the grade 3, we got 4 Dragonic Overlords, 4 The End, 4 Dauntless Drive Dragon, and 1 Blockage as a one-off. But I do highly recommend to play 1 Blockage as a one-off just because it can be your backup finisher if you do miss to write your The End. So for the grade 1, let's take a look. We have 4 Gojos, 1 Bar. You can play whatever you want, it's just a one-off, but I feel like Bar is really good since I have a bunch of 10k vanillas to pair it with to make a perfect 18k column against 13k base, which you don't really run into it nowadays, so it's totally up to you. You can play the DN Searcher if you like as well. And also you play 4 of the new PG, because if you're playing a break right deck, you need to run the new PG, otherwise your opponent is just going to prevent you from break writing. And the last one is going to be 4 copy of the Seal Dragon Drop Draw, which I think is pretty good in this deck. So drop draw is really important in this deck just because you want to try to get 2 copies of the end in your hand so that you can write one and then the other one will be used for the Persona Blast skill. So next up we have grade 2, we run 3 Berserk Dragons. Berserk Dragon is still really good, you can retire the grade 1, the grade 2 is totally up to you. We run 2 Neha Lambs, we run 4 Bellicosity Dragon just because there's a lot of counterblast in Kagero, so you need to run 4. And we run 4 Striker, which is good because you can damage the line some clans that want to use their starter that need counterblast. And there's really not much explanation to say in this list. It's a pretty basic list as you can see. Not much change from the original DM build, just that you add in 4 Dauntless Drive Dragon and 4 of the new drop draw. And in my opinion, this deck is more of a value deck just because of Dauntless Drive Dragon skill. So if you recall, Dauntless Drive Dragon skill is discard 3 to stand, but most of the time you're playing Dauntless Drive Dragon, you're going to find yourself at a situation where you don't really have the cards to discard because you want to call cards from your hand to the rear guard, and at the same time you don't really have 3 cards in your hand after you've done so. And that's where the end come into play, just because the end Persona Blast skill is you discard the end and then it stands and you draw 2 cards. So technically 1 DN in your hand equals 2 cards. So if you have 2 cards, one of it is DN, you can use Dauntless Drive Dragon skill, and that is why I feel like this is such a killer combo. And of course I can't miss to mention that because of DN skill and Dauntless Drive Dragon skill, you can stand twice, and that equals to 3 Twin Drive, which can be crazy if you can check a bunch of trigger and you can just finish your opener off like that. But if you're talking about a finisher, I will still recommend Dauntless Drive Dragon with Blockage Inferno, just because you can push 4 damage to the face guarantee. But with this deck, it's not guaranteed unless you have your Dragonic Overlord. But at the same time, if you use your Dragonic Overlord skill, you can't really use your DN skill because at most you have 5 counterblast, and your Dauntless Drive Dragon need 1 counterblast, so you can't really use all 3 of their skill. So you need to really choose properly when the time comes. And yeah, I guess that pretty much sums up for the explanation. There's really not much to talk about in this list. So same as always, I do have a total of 3 games to show you guys. The first one will be against Dragonic, the second one will be against Kagero, and then the last game will be against Tachi, where I actually can't even find my DN, but I still win somehow. So if you're interested in seeing that, you can check that game out as well. So all the timestamp of all those games will be in the description box down below, so you guys can pick which one to watch, but I still highly recommend you guys to watch all 3 games, cause why not? The more, the merrier. And I guess that's enough talking, so let's take a look at some gameplay. Okay, so as you can see, the first game is going to be against Corin, which is Dragonites. So let's see how this matchup goes. And that is an insane hand because you got everything you need besides your extra DN, so this is the dream hand to have. Extra PG is good against Dragonite as well since their Salome have an extra crit. And I draw another Dauntless Drive Dragon, which is not necessary, but I guess it's fine. And if you notice, my opponent is running the 8k booster for Dragonic, which is the better starter to run in my opinion, because nowadays I see a lot of people running the Grade 3 Searcher, which I don't understand. I guess they might want to try to get their Break Right or even their Salome. But still a fan of the 8k booster just because it can make a perfect 21k column with your Salome, so why would you not want that? Okay, no trigger, cool. So because we go first, our hand is going to be pretty small, and because of that, we kind of want to try to get at least one draw trigger in our draw check or even in our damage check. So we're just going to ride Berserk because it's our only Grade 2 to ride, otherwise I would not ride Berserk since I can burn this starter. And I guess I'm not going to use Chrono skill just because I have no idea what I want to search for at the moment. So I'm just going to hold on to Chrono just yet. And he play crits, okay. So his deck probably is going to be an aggressive one. And because he play crit, I can assume he might be playing... what's that card name again? You know, the one that can superior call units based on the amount of crits they have? Totally forget about her name. I'm pretty sure you guys know what I'm talking about. And he play a Sentry Guard Dragon. Really? Okay, that's interesting. That's the first time I'm seeing it. So that's cool. And a second Gojo into the damage zone. Not what you want to see because drop draw is pretty important in this deck. You want your Grade 2s and an extra DN in your hand. And we draw Bellicosity, and because of that, I'm pretty sure I'm going to use my Chrono skill. And the good thing about Dauntless Drive Dragon is it have the plus 3000 power skill. If you have more units than your opponent, when this unit attack is going to gain 3000 power. And because of that, if you go first and your opponent is a 9k Grade 2 Vanguard, you don't even need to boost to actually do the second damage. And I search a Gojo. Okay, that's pretty cool because I can try to filter my deck and fish for my DN because I still need one more. And I draw Dragonic Overlord, which is alright, I guess. And here I'm hoping to push for 2 damage, so as long as we don't get a trigger, we can deal 2 damage, that's for sure. And he get another crit, that is annoying, but you know what, we just need to twin drive a trigger, it's not that hard, right? It's not that hard. Can we get a trigger? I need this trigger so badly because otherwise it's going to be a really slow game. And no trigger, Jesus Christ. 1 damage on turn 3, you do not want to see that. Okay, not looking too good, our hand is only 4, our feel is not looking fantastic. So off to a rocky start, even we have such a fantastic hand. So let's see, what is he gonna ride? He chose to ride Ashley, so I guess he's taking the slower approach as well because he did decide to go for the break ride, which makes sense because there's no point running Salome since you can't limit break unless you have 3 self-damager, which you probably don't. And I guess he's taking the slow approach again. As you can see, you're only gonna push 1 damage to my Vanguard. So that's interesting. Okay, we get a draw, that's pretty good. We need some hand size and more attackers in general. Drawing the Grade 3 is not too bad because it is an 11k attacker. Ooh, another Bellicosity, that's cool, that's cool. So I guess I can drop draw and try to continue fishing for another copy of the end. Ooh, and I did draw it, so that's pretty good, that's pretty good. And I guess I can just call 2 attackers and try to push as much damage as I can because the longer I drag, the least advantage for me, in my opinion, just because his Vanguard swing for 2 every turn if he go into his Salome, and I do not want to deal with that since I only have 1 PG. And let's just put him to 3, why not? He can't even break right at 3, so I think it's fine. No trigger, oh my god, please don't damage check a trigger. Okay, luckily he didn't check a trigger, otherwise I'll be pissed, man, I'll be pissed. And as you can see, we have 6 trigger left, 1 extra dot, which we don't need because in this deck, most of the time you will only Persona Blast once unless you get extremely lucky. But I would still recommend you to Persona Blast 1 because you want to use your other Counter Blast for your Dragonic Overlord to clear their Grade 2s. Because your Dragonic Overlord will be a cleanup. For example, if you break right your DN and you can't finish off your opponent entities at 5, that's where Dragonic Overlord can come in handy. And okay, so he is going to go super aggressive here, which is fine. And he only has 1 Interceptor, that means that is a good chance we can finish off the game next turn. Okay, wait, what? He's not going to push me to 5, that's interesting. I have no clue why is that. I mean, he's still gonna give me my break, right? And he checked another heal. Come on. Come on. That's not funny, man. And we get a draw. That's good. That's a good draw trigger. Okay, I don't even know if I want to break right, honestly. I actually might, just because I want more cards in my hand. I don't know. Let's see what I do. I can't remember. Yeah, I guess I'm going for the break right. Just because my hand is so low and I want a Persona Blast to get more cards. And I want more Twin Drive to check heal maybe. So let's see how this goes. And I'm just gonna call my Berserk and my... Wait, I can't do that because I do not want to drop my PG. So I need to keep the end and another card in my hand, which is not a PG. But I'll call my Berserk this for sure. And I can't use the skill because I need 3 Counter Blasts to use the Dot plus Dauntless Drive Dragon combo. So I guess I'm just gonna attack like this. And I'm not gonna finish it off this turn, but we at least can push him to 5 if things go correctly for us. Okay, we check a heal, that's good. We wanted a heal. But sadly you know what, we don't have to drop our Dragonic Overlord because we can still have a chance to check a draw trigger because I want to save a Dragonic Overlord in my hand. So let's see what we draw here. Okay, no trigger, that's good to see. Hoping for a draw. Okay, that's good, that's good. Now we can save our Dragonic Overlord for a finisher turn. And of course, I hope we don't check heal as well. So I'm just going to discard my 3 card, which is not PG and Dragonic Overlord. And draw 2 more cards. And attack once again. I mean, if you like to stand your Vanguard a lot of time, this will be the perfect deck for you. Okay, we check another draw, looking pretty good. And we got Berserk and another Intercept. That's nice. And we left 1 heal in our deck. Not much trigger left, but when your opponent is at 5, you don't really need to check any trigger, honestly. Especially if you got Dragonic Overlord. But I can't use Dragonic Overlord skill, how can I forget that? But at least we got Berserk Dragon as a backup, so not looking too bad here. Let's see, what's he gonna break right? Yes, this is a card that I mentioned just now, totally forget about her name. But here, he's gonna have 5 attacks. And I'm at 3, so I think I'm still at the safe range, I'm not too sure. I don't think he can finish me off. Wait, can he? He attack my rear guard, attack my Vanguard? I think he can, yeah he can, but he need to check a trigger. And he need to pray that I don't check any trigger in my 2 checks. Okay, you know what? If we get double trigger, he can finish me off, but otherwise, at most, he's gonna make me drop a PG. Wait, I didn't even see my hand have 2 PG. Jesus, we are gonna survive regardless. And no trigger for you, and that's karma for checking so many trigger in the early stages. And because of that, we can save another PG, but we can't use Berserk Dragon, but at the same time, he don't even have any grade 2 for us to burn, and I guess that pretty much sum up for the game. Unless you have... Okay, sorry, I take that back. I forgot he can call grade 2s. And I guess it's gonna push another damage. Okay, okay. And attack for fun? Sure. And I think we should be able to close it here. Unless he have 2 PG. But his hand's only 2, so unless it's 2 exact PG, we should win this game. So Berserk burnt his grade 2. And I'm gonna call my Striker down. And let's hope he don't have 2 PG. Because if he have 2 PG, we actually might lose. Unless we check our last heal, which we did, wow, okay. And here he DC, okay, interesting. Okay, 1 PG, do you have another one, my friend? Do you have another one? I mean, even if he does have another one, we will probably still win because he still can't finish off us on his next turn. And I guess that's game. And this concludes game 1, so as you can see, the power of standing and standing and standing. Pretty much stand twice and attack for 3 times, if I can count correctly. And yeah, so let's move on to game 2, I guess. Okay, so as you can see, it's gonna be a Kagero mirror match. Is it gonna be Seal Dragon or is it gonna be a legit mirror match? Let's find out soon. So let's see. How's our starting hand looking? Oh my god, pretty amazing again. We are just missing a PG and another Dot. Wow. And I did decide to full keep because there's no reason to risk drawing into worse cards. So just keep your full hand if you think it's good enough. And against mirror match, you do want to go first because you want to damage the line if you are going second, and it's just a wasted damage in my opinion. And I want to use my Gojo skill. And at this point, I have no clue, is he playing Steel Dragon or The End? So I do remember that I make a misplay by putting my Conroll behind my Vanguard. And because of that, if he is Steel Dragon, I'm going to get punished for it. And here I'm probably going to drop draw. Am I? I'm not. Okay. Makes sense since I can't burn his Conroll. So I guess attacking is fine. Oh my god. The moment I saw that card, I know he's playing Steel Dragon. So I'm hoping he don't have the Steel Dragon Berserk since it's only one Counter Blast. Okay, he have his Steel Dragon 10k Vanilla. And here's gonna burn my Conroll, and that sucks. And pro tip, always put your Conroll at the left or right column if you're playing against Kagero so that you don't get punished like I does. So here's gonna push 2 damage, which is fine I guess. Okay, no trigger. But if we can get a Berserk, we can burn his Conroll. Okay, we check a heal, that's pretty good I guess. And the only grade 2 I have to write is my Shriken. So I guess I'm gonna write Shriken. And we drew a bar, okay. And I actually might drop draw because I have too many grade 1s in my hand. I only need 2 at most. I'm pretty sure I will drop draw here. Yup. I'm gonna drop my bar because I can drop draw again if I like to. More drop draw. Okay, that's interesting. So I did decide to hold on into my drop draw because there's really not much reason to like spam your board this early on into the game because you might actually use those cards to discard to stand. So you never know. So don't really like unnecessary call rear guards because it's better to save those cards in your hand unless you really need to call. So here he write blockage, which is interesting because if he go into turning K base, I might regret dropping my bar. But at least it is a 10k base, that means it's easier to push for more damage. Okay, a draw, and he played that Steel Dragon card, which is interesting. He get a double draw, okay. I mean that's fine because the trigger doesn't really change much since his attack is gonna go through anyways. So here again, I'm hoping to draw into my Berserk Dragon because I want to burn his Conroll so badly, but no Berserk for me. So let's just write our Dauntless Drive Dragon. And we're gonna gain 5000 power and a crit, so we actually am pushing to 4 this turn if everything goes well. But I don't want to call The End, so I'm gonna call my drop draw in front of my booster, I think, because I don't really want to risk calling 2 more cards down because I just need an attacker. Yup, I'm gonna drop my Gojo and hope to draw an attacker here. Anything but grade 1. Oh, that Berserk draw is nuts. Now I can burn his Conroll, so that's payback for him burning mine. And here, if you don't get a trigger, we can put in 4, so that's pretty good for us. Okay, no trigger, that's good, that's good. Okay, draw, that's amazing. We still need to try to find a PG in case he suddenly finish off us somehow, which I do not know how since he don't play crit. So still looking pretty safe even if he can limit break, but limit break doesn't really change much because he's just burning my grade 2s. But that is still a chance he can finish me off though, so let's not... Wait, what? Okay, so he suddenly changed to break, right, which is interesting. Because I assume if he have his blockage Inferno, he will just write his blockage Inferno. Because why don't you want to do that? Since you can stay on a turning K base, which is better off against my deck, since against 30k base you will need a booster to actually hit through his Vanguard. And here he has 2 intercepts, so it's gonna be a little bit tough to finish him off. Unlike if you are playing Blockage Inferno, which you have an easier time to finish him off. Okay, is he gonna put me to 5? He is. That means he can't heal anymore. So at this kind of situation, it's either I win or lose. But I did join to a PG, so that's really good. But it doesn't really matter since his Inferno can burn my grade 2, so I have to win on my turn here. Okay, another DN. Sadly, if you want to do the DN combo plus the extra DN, you need 5 open Counter Blast, but I only got 3, which is perfect for me to use my DN combo. So I do not know if giving me 3 Counter Blast is correct there. I think I'm just gonna call a column of attacker. You know what? Yeah, I'm not gonna call a column, there's no reason to do that. So I'm just gonna take his double rear guard and hope he don't have 2 PG because he need 2 PG to survive. Otherwise, I can hope for a heal trigger as well, but I want to check it when he's at 5, not right now. Okay, no trigger, that's fine, that's fine. And that's 1 PG down. Okay, looking good, looking good. Can we draw some useful card here? Let's see. Ooh, double trigger. You do not want to see that, but I think it's fine. Okay, we check a heal. That is really good. That's really good. Okay, he have 1 PG, but we are going to stand again. And I'm just going to discard 2 of my grade 1 and a Dragonic Overlord because I left 2 Counter Blasts to work with at most. If I can check another heal in my next turn. Okay, I think that's the last heal that we drew. Yeah, so we only left with 2 draw triggers. Okay, draw into a PG. Okay, so even if we survive, we can still survive. And he don't have his second PG in this game. And I guess that is how you want to finish off your what? What? Did you just 6 damage shield me, my dude? My dude, okay. So like I was saying, most of the time you want to finish off your opponent like this. But since it's 6 damage shield, I guess he's still in the game. But luckily, we are at 4 damage, and because of that, we can survive since we did draw into our PG on our final drive check, so that's pretty lucky of us. And here, he don't even have his Blockage Inferno. So pretty lucky for us, but even if he does have it, he still can't win on this turn. But if he have Dauntless Drive Dragon, he would have won. That is why I keep saying, man, Dauntless Drive Dragon with Blockage Inferno is really good. It's really as good as the end. Trust me. And since he don't have another PG in his hand, I'm hoping that he don't draw into it, because if he draw into it, he can survive since he have 2 grade 2 in his front row. Okay, he just concede. That means he don't have any more PG and don't have any more heal. And yeah, I guess this concludes game 2. I'm pretty sure you guys can see the power of Dauntless Drive Dragon with Zolt. I mean, standing twice and twin drive 3 times is pretty nuts if you can check heal and draw into PG like I did. So I guess it's time to move on to the final game, so I'll see you guys there. Okay, so last game against Tachi, which is an interesting matchup because Tachi want to burn their own unit, but at the same time I can burn their units. So now let's see. Pretty okay hand. I'll just keep my Dauntless Drive Dragon, the grade 1 and the grade 2. So I'm just throw my blockage and my Dragonic Overlord back into the deck. And we have a Berserk Dragon, which is good because I can burn his starter so that he can't really make 4th attack as easily as he could if he have his starter. Okay, cool card. Did not see that before. I guess it's an alright hand. It's a really good hand. We are just missing a grade 3 to ride over our Dauntless Drive Dragon. As you can see, I put my Kagero behind just because once I go into my grade 3, I want to attack with my grade 3 last because of the extra crit I got. And to guarantee that attack hit through his Vanguard, you would like to have a booster, so I like to put my Kagero behind my Vanguard since I'm not going to use it at the moment, as I already have a PG in my hand. And we check a draw into a Dragonic Overlord, which is not the great trick you want to write over Dauntless Drive Dragon, because the Dragonic Overlord is extremely good on rearguard but not on Vanguard. And he write a 8k base, okay. So he could get punished if I have an 18k column, which I can make since I run bar, but I don't really have it right now, so I guess it's fine. And we draw Gojo, so that's good. We can search for our DN. Ooh, another Gojo. Okay. So I'm just gonna write Striken, like I say. And I think I'll use Gojo's skill, but what will I discard? I think I might discard my Dragonic Overlord. Okay, I discard my Gojo. Because I knew I'm gonna join to another Gojo. Okay, that's interesting. Haha. So I think I want, you know what? Do I want to call another attacker? I don't, just because I want to check a heal. Because if I actually attack and put into 2, and if my next check is a heal trigger, I can't heal. So playing it safe here. So here he's gonna rock his Break Right, which is the ideal right for him. Okay, so he's probably gonna push me to 3, unless I check a trigger here, which we don't. Okay, he checked a heal, which he can't heal, so luckily he didn't attack with his Vanguard first. Oh, a double trigger, which is fine because it doesn't really matter. No trigger. I think it's all good. We don't need any trigger at the moment right now. So I rather my trigger to be in my deck. But I'm still looking for my DN. Still no sign. So I'm gonna write my Dauntless Drive Dragon. As mentioned. And I'm just gonna burn his starter. And I have my Velocity Dragon as well, so I can unfleet a damage. So that's really good. And here, like I was mentioned just now, I want my Conroe to stay as a boost, so if he get a defensive trigger, I still guarantee to hit through his Vanguard. Because the last thing you want is to ride over a Striker and then your Vanguard didn't get through your opponent Vanguard, because that is such a waste of extra critical. You do not want that. Okay, so I guess I'm hoping for a draw because I don't mind Break Riking next turn. But we check a heal, so that's really good because we can drag the game out a little bit longer since we have 2 more Grade 2s and intercept next turn. So I think the heal is really good there. And he can Break Right, but it's fine since he only got 1 rearguard and his Break Right need him to retire 2, I think. I'm not too sure. But I remember his Break Right skill is to retire any amount of rearguards and then drop the amount of rearguards that you retire, if I remember correctly. No clue how Tachi works, again. Have not looked into Tachi. Ooh, no trigger, that's pretty bad for him. He's probably looking for a heal trigger. Because if you're at 5, that's where things get scary. Okay, a PG into the damage, so which is fine since we have 1 in our hand and we're only at 3 damage. So we don't need the extra copy. Still no DN, okay. Looking a little bit scary. So here I'm just gonna push him. Or even try to close up the game here. And I can even use my Dragonic Overlord skill, I just realized. Interesting. I think I'll use my Dragonic Overlord, yes! Let's go for it. Because now, instead of having 1 PG to survive, now he needs 2 PG to survive and he only have 3 cards in his hand. So there is a good chance we finish him off without even Break Riking, which is gonna be very cool. And of course I hope we don't get a defensive trigger, because otherwise my Vanguard need to get a trigger to attack through his Vanguard. So I think I'm gonna swing with my Vanguard first, doesn't really matter. I'm just hoping to get a trigger at least. Okay, we did. So now it's gonna guarantee for him to for him to have 2 PG to survive unless he check a heal. What the heck, he really did. Ugh, that's annoying. That is annoying, but it's okay guys, it's okay. because we can still survive. And he's at 5, that means he should be dead next turn, I hope. That heal really saved him. Because of that heal, he don't even need to check or drop any PG from his hand. So that's really good for him, but I guess he still have like 3 heal, I think. I'm not too sure. Wait, what? The fact that he didn't call another unit on his left column tells me that he have 3 PG in his hand. Okay. He's dragging the game. He don't even want me to break, right? Okay, that's interesting. That is really interesting. Okay. But we have still 2 more grade 2s, and here we draw our one-off copy blockage, which, like I say, it can be your backup winning condition if you don't join to your DN, like me right now. So here, I actually can write my blockage, but I'm gonna play it safe because there's no reason to take any risk since we are so far ahead. And here I'm trying to join to DN, if I could, or even PG, I guess, because I'm not gonna use Dragonic Overlord skill anymore. And I'm pretty sure he have 2 PG, otherwise he will call a card on his left column. So here a draw trio would be nice because if you're not gonna break right your DN over your Dauntless Drive Dragon, you will need 3 cards to actually stand again. Okay, so he did survive, no surprise there. So now I'm even more sure that my next turn will finish him off, unless he can finish off us this turn. Okay, this guy has so many grade 2s. That's not good. But luckily we run our blockage. So here, I bet he's probably thinking, alright, I have a PG and 2 interceptor, and he probably can't finish him off on my next turn. And that's where blockage is gonna bring in the surprise factor and finish him off on my next turn. And we did get the end, but there's no point running the end since we can't even Persona Blast, so what's the point? Just write blockage, man. And we have 5 cards, and that's perfect. So blockage, here we go. And you know what? I'm not going to call 2 cards down because calling 2 cards down and only calling 1 is still the same. It's going to be 3 attacks. But instead, if I only call 1 card down and I got 2 Twin Drive, I can potentially make 4 attacks. So here I'm just going to call my grade 2 and just attack like this. Because he still needs 3 PG. It still doesn't change anything. Yep, we get our trigger and we give the power to our Gojo. And I guess that's game. That is game. Blockage renewed the game unexpectedly. That is why you play one-off copy of him. And I guess this pretty much sums up for the whole deck guide video. So same as always, I do hope you guys enjoy the video and learn how the deck works in general and the strength and weaknesses of it. And leave a comment down below letting me know what are your thoughts about Dauntless Drive Dragon with Dot. Is it better than the original Dot build, or is it better than Dauntless Drive Dragon with Blockage Inferno? And yeah, this should be it. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for next video. Goodbye.